Hello, my name is Aaron, and welcome back to the Retro Gaming Collective. Guys, 2022 is over, and I ended up beating a grand total of 27 games in 2022, which is more than my 23 in 2021. So I'm hoping to get to 30 this year. We will see how that goes. So really, kind of as the year is over and we're starting a new one, I want to recap and show you guys my favorite games from the past year. So I picked out 10. This is not the only games that I enjoyed this year, and it's not going to be in any particular order, but I'll share with you like why I picked these games and kind of what I was thinking for some of them during the time that I was playing them. So without further ado, let me show you a real quick peek of the stack here. Boom, there it is. All right, now let's dive in. I'll show you what I got here. So we're going to start small here. And I picked Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland for the Game Boy Advance. I remember, so this is one of the first games that I beat after my daughter was born. And I was doing a lot of Game Boy because I was spending a lot of time with her and my wife, and it was something that I was able to play really quickly for a couple of minutes and then slip it back in my pocket and move along. But this game was like, it was a little piece of nostalgia. I really, really enjoyed it. You guys know that I'm a huge Kirby fan, and this is definitely not the only Kirby game on this list. So to go from this one to the one that I'm going to show you next, it was really cool to be able to beat not one, but two Kirby games in 2022. So that was the first one. It was super quick, super fun, not overly difficult. I very, very much enjoyed this. In the same vein, I beat Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Now I know this one's gotten a lot of hate because it's very different than some of the other Kirby games, but to me, it was a very welcomed different. I actually really, really enjoyed this game. There were some really challenging portions of the game, but overall, I didn't find it to be like ridiculously difficult. It was like just difficult enough. And a lot of really cool changes and upgrades to, different Kirby games. And I'm definitely looking forward to the one coming out very soon. But yeah, so those are my two Kirby games. I highly recommend both of them. Really, any Kirby game so far. Now this next game, it's one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time. I have beat this game more times than I can count, but this one was extra special to me, and that is the original Mass Effect. This playthrough was really special to me because it was the first game that I beat after my daughter was born. Now, when I was playing this game, we have a dog. He's a pit bull, and he had just come home. And the baby had just come home, and we did not know how to introduce them. So at the time, I was sleeping down on a chair in our family room, and the baby was sleeping upstairs with my wife, and she would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would go up to help take care of the baby with her, come back down, sleep with the dog. It was a whole thing. It was one of the hardest couple of weeks of my life until we realized they're fine, and now they're best friends, and we were worried about nothing. Anyway, one of the hardest parts of my life, and I looked forward to the evenings because when everyone was asleep and it was just me, I would play this game, and it was just like a nice little piece of nostalgia that I really, really enjoyed. I cannot tell you how many times I beat this game. It is immeasurable. So for me, I like to call them like comfort movies or comfort games that I know frontwards and backwards. So it doesn't require a lot of effort. You know exactly what you need to do next. And this game could not have come at a better time for me. If you haven't played this series, I highly recommend it. It's incredible. It's some of BioWare's best work. Also, not the only BioWare game to end up on this list this year. Stay away from Andromeda. It's not great, but this whole trilogy, highly recommend it. So good. And keeping with that, that BioWare theme here, the first game of the year that I beat was Star Wars and Knights of the Old Republic, and this would have been literally a year ago now. This is another one of those games that I would call a comfort game. I beat this game so many times, but it is so good. If you are a Star Wars fan, if you're an RPG fan, turn-based, I mean, this game it's outstanding. It's absolutely unrivaled. The second one is also really, really good, but nowhere as even close to the original. I mean, just the whole story arc. Again, I don't want to ruin it because I know some people haven't played it, but the whole story arc with Revan, like, you just can't beat it. I remember the first time I played that game and I was just like, what? But if you have not, try this game. It's awesome. I would love to see some like TV shows or movies centered around the Old Republic. I'd love to see Revan come back. So we'll see. Maybe one day. Who knows? And this next one, you guys know by now I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so of course I have to put on Pokemon Violet. I beat this game in the beginning of December when it first came, actually right after it first came out. I played this really heavily. Actually beat it in Disney World, in bed. We'd have to go back to the room relatively early, and the baby was sleeping in the same room as us. So I brought my Switch, right? So I ended up playing a lot of Pokemon Violet. I loved this game. Again, I know it's one of those games you either love or you hate it, because it is different than Sword and Shield. But some of the new Pokemon were really cool. The new mechanics were cool. The game looked horrible. The graphics were not good, but only Pokemon could get away with making a game that looked like that and also have it be a wonderful game. But yeah, it was incredible. I highly, highly recommend it if you're a Pokemon fan. And also my favorite Pokemon, it's Oinkalone. He's in this game, Oinkalone. Look him up, he's crazy. Next, this is probably the weirdest game on my list. It's for the Xbox One. It's a remake from, a game that I played on the Sega Genesis. And it is Shakfu, A Legend Reborn. And you might say, why would you enjoy that game? It's horrible, it's repetitive. I don't know, I just did. I played this game, I beat it in 2 days. It is a super short game, it is repetitive. It's somewhat difficult, but not difficult at all, if that makes any sense. It was just fun and like colorful, and like, I love Shaq. I was a big Lakers fan. I loved Shaq and Kobe in the day. Call me, whatever you want. But I don't know. I recommend this game if you're looking for a really quick beat. It was weird and silly and so much fun. On to the next tier. Now here's another really weird game that I enjoyed on the PS5. And this game, I think I beat this back in October around my birthday. I had a couple days off and I did this one kind of in one sitting. Well, a few days worth of one sitting. And that's Away, the survival series. In this one, you are a sugar glider and you're doing all kinds of little puzzles. To basically, you're this baby and you're trying to get back, I think, to your little brother or sister, another sugar glider who was taken by a big bird. And it's this like post-apocalyptic world, and you're trying to like navigate through all these enemies and all these things. Super cool game. I found it to be pretty relaxing. It was not a stressful game at all, but really cool. A little glitchy here and there. It wasn't the most polished game I've ever played, but definitely enjoyable. Strange and enjoyable. All right, now get into a couple juicy ones. Let's move to this one. Uncharted 4. Now, this was the first time that I played this game. I don't know why I put it off, because it's amazing. This was like playing a movie. I loved the first 3, and I played them all super late. I think it was like 2012 or 13. I borrowed them from a friend because I was not a super huge PS3 collector at the time. And I played all 3 of them in like 2 or 3 weeks. I powered through them. You can tell that was when I wasn't married. And I don't think I was working. Well, I was working full time at the time. And I had no kids, so I was playing a lot of video games then. So I loved those games, and it had been a long time since I played them, and I went back to this one, and this one did not disappoint. It was so good. And it felt like more of the same, but like better. It looked incredible, it felt incredible. The voice acting is amazing. I mean, it's one of those games, like, if you haven't played the Uncharted series, you've got to give it a try. So good. It's so interesting, especially if you're a history buff like me. I love history. And again, they kind of they play on things a little bit, but I don't know, it's just super great. We're down to the final 2 here. So let's do Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga. I waited a really long time for this game. and I've played all of the Star Wars games, especially, I mean, the Lego ones, I should say. My friend Tom and I have been trying to beat the Clone Wars for probably like 2 or 3 years at this point. We'll play for an hour here and there, and we're going to beat it one day. But this by far is the best Star Wars Lego game there is. I mean, it's got everything. The characters are awesome. The design's awesome. I mean, it's everything we've ever wanted in Star Wars. Now, I would love to see, I don't know if this is out here because I haven't put it in a long time, but like DLC for like Mando, Andor, Bad Batch, stuff like that. I know like there's some skins and stuff, but like some actual content, I would love to see that. Tons of replayability here. Highly recommend it for sure. And then the final game on the list. This is not the best game. I mean, I'm not even going to go into it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Now, I had not enjoyed Call of Duty for a very, very long time. The last game that I remember really enjoying moderately, I should say, was Ghost, Call of Duty Ghost. And that one was kind of the beginning of the end for me. I continued to buy them. I think I played World War II, but I didn't really play it online. I bought the last Black Ops one was good. I enjoyed that too. And then there was that World War I game that came after it, and it was garbage. But I loved this game, and I have not gone this hard on a Call of Duty in so long. I mean, I played every single night when it first came out, up until Pokemon Violet came out, and that's when I stopped. I haven't actually put it back in since. The campaign was incredible. It looks great. I mean, on the PS5, pretty much anything looks great. But the multiplayer was hands down the best multiplayer Call of Duty, and I'm sure anybody will tell you this, since Black Ops 2, in my opinion. I loved playing online, and I loved the campaign. It was so good. I have no complaints about this game, other than the skin system, you know, but I'm not even gonna bother with that. But yeah, that is my list. It is definitely not like every game that I beat this year, and not all. I mean, they've all been good. I've enjoyed every single game that I played this year. One of my favorites was actually right here, GoldenEye 007. This one was another little piece of nostalgia, but that's an honorable mention. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to show you guys. Here's to 2023. I'm already 2 games in, working on my 3rd. I just started Pokemon Crystal, so we'll see how that goes, if I can stick with it. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If you have any questions, you can subscribe to me here, or you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'm at The Retro Gaming Collective. I post videos of Pokemon cards, video game things, dog, baby, all kinds of weird stuff. But yeah, feel free to follow, subscribe, like, all of the things. But yeah, until next time, happy hunting.